Hey there, welcome back to BLO'S Closet. Welcome to BLO'S Closet. I am really excited to have you here on my channel today. Can you hear the excitement in my voice? So in today's video, I am going to be sharing with us an easy way to attach a crinoline to your peplum, your flay, or anything that is circular at all. So if you're interested in learning how to do this, keep on watching and let us get straight into this tutorial. For the purpose of this tutorial, I have my peplum here that I am going to be using. This is the 1080 degrees peplum. You can attach crinoline to your 360 degree flare, 720, even more or less. You can attach it to a half circle, a quarter circle, anything that's circular at all. You can attach your crinoline to give it more volume. So I iron a thick stay onto my fabric to give it more stability, and of course I have sewn my lining onto the bottom part of this my flay. Alright, so going to the sewing machine, this is the crinoline that I am going to be using. This crinoline is also known as horsehair braids. Okay, so this is me cutting out the rough edge, and I am going to be using a piece of material to cover this edge, and this is because this place is usually very rough. It is sharp, so if you don't cover it up, it can be prickly. You can tear your fabric and be prickly onto your skin. So I'm going to be using this very small piece of fabric, and I'm going to just fold it over like this and use it to cover the edge of this my crinoline. Just watch carefully and you see how I am doing it. So after covering this up, you should have something that looks like this. For the length of this my crinoline, it is 2 inches. Now there are different sizes in the market, and I feel like the longer the length of your crinoline, the more volume you're going to have, but 2 inches was the one I could find in the store closest to me. Now this is me bringing my peplum, and I'm going to separate the actual fabric from the lining piece, and I'm going to be pushing all the seam allowance towards the lining piece. Okay, and now I am going to bring my crinoline, and I am going to be placing this crinoline on the seam allowance. Can you see that? I'm going to be placing it on the seam allowance. Now if you watch closely, you're going to see that my crinoline is falling towards my lining piece. Make sure that it's falling towards your lining piece and not your actual piece. So I'm going to place it very close to the original stitch that I made earlier, and now I am going to be making a top stitch at the edge of this my crinoline. So I need you to watch closely. Now I'll take it to the sewing machine, and I'm going to start stitching at the very tip. Okay, now this is like a very easy and a better way to do this, so that it will not stress you too much. You will not need hemming gum when you're ironing this. It's just going to flow naturally. So this stitch that we are making is almost like you're making an under stitch. You know that stitch that you make to keep your lining in place. So this is the effect that it's going to have, and when you are going to turn this over and iron it, it's just going to lay down flat naturally. The ironing will not stress you at all. So I'm going to keep stitching this, and please guys, do not stretch the crinoline while you're sewing. Take your time, because this process is a little bit time consuming. Take your time, spread out your lining very well so that your lining does not peek through onto your main fabric. And now I am going to keep sewing, and when I get towards the end of my flay, I am going to pull this out. I'm going to cut it out, pull it out of my machine. Okay, and just like we did at the beginning, we are going to be using a piece of fabric to cover these raw ends. Okay, so that it will not choke you. It will not prick you. Now after covering the other end of this my crinoline, I'm going to go ahead and finish stitching this down, making sure to back stitch it at the end so that my seams don't come undone. Notice how I did not sew this crinoline up until the end of my flay. I left a little space. Even when I started sewing, I left a little space. So now can you see what it looks like? Okay, look at what it looks like on the lining side. It's very neat and clean. It looks kind of like an under stitch. You know that stitch that you make to keep your lining in place. The next thing I did was to use the lining to turn over the raw ends of this my peplum, and I turned everything inside out, and this is what it is looking like, guys. It's already looking so beautiful. I've not even ironed it yet, and it's already given. The next thing you'd want to do now is grab your iron and start ironing. You want to take your time when ironing this. Iron it. If you have a steam iron, better. Okay, it's going to iron it out really flat for you, but any iron you have should work with this technique. After ironing it flat, guys, this is what it looks like. Oh my god, I'm in love with this outcome. Can you see what it looks like on the inside? Like, it's very flat, very clean, no hemming gum required. This technique will give you your desired result. And can you see the fullness, you guys? This is what a crinoline does to your flay. It gives it fullness, more structure, and you can go ahead to add pleats if you want more volume. And guys, this is it on my mannequin. My mannequin does not even do justice to how this dress actually looks. So guys, we've come to the end of today's tutorial. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and leave a like for me so that more people can get to see this video. Subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and I'll see you in my next video, guys. Bye.